Joining us now, a man who will be in his 18th or 19th WrestleMania this upcoming weekend, currently a member of the RK Bro Tag Team, third-generation superstar who looks, I think, better than he's ever looked. If I look like this dude, I would never wear a shirt, and I would put my face everywhere. He's humble, he's hardworking, he's beloved by everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Orton.
Yeah, Randy! Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you.
I like the energy.
I appreciate you, man. If you have to change where that microphone is, let us know.
Pleasure.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it was a good handshake, by the way. Just so everybody knows, that was a good handshake.
I was running a little late. You mentioned the diet. You said I'm looking pretty good. I've been watching what I eat. Been motivated.
Can you move that thing a little closer to you?
Yeah. Is this better?
Yeah, you can just move the whole stand, I think.
Whole stand. Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I saw Vince having a hard time with this.
Hey, he beat the hell out of that thing.
Oh my God, did he? I have a hard act to follow. But anyway, I had to run to the restroom. Man, sugar alcohols.
What's that?
Sugar alcohols.
Sure.
So I'm watching what I eat,
Okay.
and I'm eating these Larry and Lenny's cookies, right? And I'm watching what he the abs.
Yeah,
it's
the protein
WrestleMania
cookies.
season, right?
Yeah.
So they replace like the sugar and the carbs with sugar alcohols. Well, that shit runs right through you, bro.
Oh.
So when I just came in here and I was running late, like I had to take care of some business. I apologize.
No. Listen.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
So just fair warning,
Yeah, he
anybody,
might have, yeah.
crew guys, don't use that restroom for at least 30 minutes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I did not know that's where we were headed. I'm excited. I'm excited for the warning.
Sugar alcohol. Stay away from them.
Hey, it's worth it though. I think whatever you're doing. Have you? So
It's not worth it.
No, it is.
No,
Have you seen the way you look? Honestly.
Yeah, but if you were in there with me a few minutes ago, you would not think it's worth it. No, but thank you very much. I'm shredded right now.
Absolutely. Sure.
And I owe a lot of that to Riddle because I'm really having a lot of fun right now, and I feel like it's a direct result of the energy, like the energy you bring to your show here. The reason it's different, I feel like Riddle's different. He's got a certain energy. People kind of gravitate towards him. The fans love him. He's awesome. His facial expressions. But he enjoys being in that ring. And it's rubbed off on me, and I'm having fun out there. And the fans, I think, can sense that I'm having fun.
What year is this for you in the business?
I think in about 3 weeks, it's 20 years on television.
Hey, let's go!
Yeah, thank
2 decades,
you.
not
Thank
easy.
you.
Not
Thank you.
easy.
No, it's a lot of bumps. It's a lot of traveling, but I feel like I kind of got injured very early in my career several times. Boom, boom, boom. And I had to figure out, if I'm going to do this for a long time, if I'm going to have any kind of longevity, I got to figure out how to do that. And that's what I've done. And I've toned back the physicality to the point where, I know what I'm capable of. I know what my body's capable of, but I also know what I need to do out there in order to get a reaction. And I don't need to break my neck.
Bro, yeah, I mean, one of the
200 times a year, like back in the day.
You are so good in there. Like,
220 shows a year, bro. You can't physically, survive decades in this industry if you're killing yourself every night.
And I can understand that completely.
Of course you can.
And by the way, just because I did one match, okay, I did one match, and I called the people that I knew in the business or whatever. The next day I couldn't move, right? Couldn't move.
Yeah.
Day after that, couldn't move.
Yeah.
I actually had a neck brace on the goddamn show. We thought I had a T2 or whatever. I literally for 3 days couldn't move.
Sure.
I had one match.
Sure.
Okay, that thing carried on for like a week. 2 weeks or whatever. You guys doing these matches, and back in the day whenever you started like 20, you're like 4 or 5 days a week, I think, working at that time, right? That's old school. You're like an old school guy.
I'm not so old school. So my dad, I think they just did an Evil episode where he was interviewed, and between the ages of 5 and 12, like he was home, 5, 10, 15 times a year. I didn't get to see him at all. He was gone 100 days in a row. When he left WWE, he started traveling to Japan. He'd be gone for months at a time. There was definitely a gap in my childhood where he was on the road. So old school, like that.
That's old school.
That's 1,000 miles in the car. Yeah. So the guys nowadays have it better than I had it, but I have it way better than
Did you know you wanted to be? So, for instance, like I'm watching Young Rock right now.
Okay? Yeah.
I'm watching Young Rock, and it feels like the entire story is almost that his dad was in the business. Obviously, his mom's entire family was in the business, and he's known everybody that's been in the business for a long time.
Right.
But it feels like he didn't want to be in the business for whatever reason.
Sure.
Whenever he's 6 foot, just like you, the prototype basically of what you are. So is he, right? You are two prototypes of what wrestlers are supposed to look like.
Okay.
You did not want to be in wrestling, or did you think it was something you were going to do, or did you?
It was kind of a confidence thing. Like I never looked at myself and thought like, oh, there's the fucking man right there. I didn't know how to build myself up. I didn't look in the mirror and see someone capable of following in my father's footsteps. And I've talked about that before, like, like getting bullied as a kid and shit like that. I kind of went through it and had my own, but all kids deal with that, right? And I think it's helped me now. I see the kids in the front row being a father too. A lot's changed in my life, from when I was in my 20s. But I see these kids and, man, they make my day, putting a smile on a kid's face. Especially like those little 8, 9, 10-year-old girls. I have 2 daughters that they're just, I'm wrapped around their finger.
Yeah.
I love my 3 sons too, but there's something about those little girls. And it's funny because in my 20s, I used to be looking for the chicks in the audience. You know what I mean? Now, I'm actually, what is it, tomorrow I turn 42.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Thank you. But
you
it's
look
like
incredible.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to turn this into just complimenting you the entire time.
You said that like 10 times in the last few months.
Bro, I told you that you came and did a Raw at in Indianapolis, and I don't know if Nick was with me, but a couple of my friends were with me, and it was a commercial break, and you were on the side right in front of us there. And there was the first time I've seen you in person or whatever, and you were all oiled up. You had the whole thing. And I'm just like, God damn. And I think I even said to you, sir, I believe I said, if I look like you, I would try to never wear clothes. This is incredible. And you gave like a cool, thank you or something like that. And I was like, oh, this guy's like the coolest guy of all time. But then whenever I hear you talk, I know that wrestling was not necessarily going to be your thing, so I was always fascinated by it because your family's in it. You're so good at it. You took to it like a fish to water. You're the youngest heavyweight champion in the history of the business.
That's true. I am.
And you're still going, though, 20 years later. How have you been able to maintain, you think, other than the physicality? Because the road, the mentality, also the drama that's allegedly in wrestling, let alone I couldn't even imagine with you, with how young you were.
Yeah.
How have you been able to keep going, you think, at such a high level?
I don't know, Pat. I don't know because I made so many mistakes, and there was so many times where the next day I should have woke up and not had a job here. And there's so many people one day if I'm lucky enough to be in the Hall of Fame, my list of thank yous is going to be very long. But Triple H just retired the other day. That was emotional for me because that man, if it wasn't for that man, I wouldn't be here right now.
Me too, by the way.
Yeah,
You're
I
much
believe
more
it.
than me, but yes.
I believe it. He's that kind of man. And on a personal level, there's that. But then he saw something in me and he wanted to, for the business's sake, he wanted to help the industry and help the business that gave him everything that he loved, from a kid. And that his way of doing it is helping guys like me. But that was 20 years ago. When you think about it, when he gave me that push in Evolution, he was only in his early 30s. So I think about when I was in my early 30s, where I was in the business, I was nowhere near that level of maturity and understanding of psychology and just... Let me reiterate, maturity. He was a man at 32, and I remember looking up to him. And it's kind of funny when I think of myself when I was 32. Oh fuck, I had nowhere near my shit together like he did. But it's motivating to look at that and to kind of set that as the example of what I'd like to do for the business that gave me so much.
Yeah, you never really ventured out of the business, right? You did a couple movies, but you stuck in the business mostly.
I did those. I've auditioned for stuff, and I still do. Because
hate the movies.
Hate it. Love watching them.
Process.
Hate the fucking process.
I've had to see one time.
Don't watch any of the movies I've been in. They're just not good. But it's so I didn't audition for those projects. I was told, hey, so you're injured? All right, while you're healing, you're going to star in this movie. Okay, do I have any say in this? Can I at least learn how to act first? Sure, let's give you an acting coach the day before you start shooting. Shit, okay. So 12 hours of acting classes with the coach, and just everything's over your head and you don't know what. So you just use kind of your real life experiences in the WWE, being on camera, being in the ring, being on live TV. You kind of pick up a lot of shit that you don't even know you're picking up. So on a movie set, it came a little easier. It was a great experience, but I love what I'm doing right now.
You're perfect for wrestling.
I love what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing in the ring. I would love to do it for a much longer time, you know.
So you haven't even
10
thought...
more years, 12 more years. I'd like to be like Taker, and when I get to the point where my body's like, okay, maybe not every week, like I'd love to, you know, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, like come and have that.
Hey, Cena just said this. So Cena literally just said this the other day. He was talking about how at his age he has to be realistic with his schedule, but he would love to be a full-time WWE guy.
I believe
What
that.
is it about it? Like, now that I'm around it, by the way, I love everything about it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the hell of it. I know it's a business. I understand it's a business, but it feels like the guys that are really good at it are fully in love with the business. What is it about the business that you enjoy, and what do you love being a superstar?
God, I love being in the locker room with the guys. I love having, you know, I don't have really friends, you know, in real life. Like my acquaintances, the fellow wrestlers, they're my friends, you know, like, you know, the locker room feeling, that bonding, you know, being on a European tour, being in the back of the bus with 5 or 6 guys that you can just shoot the shit with and hang out and have a drink, cop a buzz, and fucking just, you know, talk about real life shit. About, like, I enjoy the road aspect, but the older I've gotten, like, that road life's hard. So like, you know, it's kind of like with COVID and everything, there hasn't been as many overseas tours, and, you know, it's good for the body, a little less travel, but now I'm like kind of chomping at the bit. I want to go on a European tour. I want to sit in the back of the bus with the guys and have a few drinks and just talk.
Hey, you're old guard now, right? So it's different conversations now that you're a Randy Orton, 42-year-old icon, definitely going in the fucking Hall of Fame. You need to relax with that.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if much there's a maturity there. There's maybe the topics of conversation have definitely changed. But that excitement, that passion, that'll never change. That, like, so I'm an addict, but luckily for me, I've found that, you know, my drug of choice is those fucking people. Yeah. Our fans, like, I took them for granted for so long, Pat. Our fans are everything. And when they give you that noise, when they give you that excitement and that energy, and when you can tell that they're buying your shit, and when you can tell that they're believing, not buying your shit, when they're believing your shit, like
buying it, not your merch, your stuff.
No,
what you're doing in the show. Everybody understands.
Don't buy my shit. I don't give a fuck if you buy my shit.
No. Everybody knew what you meant, though. You don't have to correct.
Austin's always going to outsell everybody when it comes to the merch. Austin and Cena are always going to be the top merch guys. I ain't even right, but in the ring.
Yes.
That's my drug of choice. It's a challenge every night because you never know what you're going to get. And it's fun to be in there with guys that have that passion and maybe aren't quite on your level, and they're just sponges absorbing shit. And then, like, I'm in that zone where, oh, wow, like, so the stuff that's kind of just comes natural to me and is common sense and that I don't even really think about, this is like gold to some of these guys who I take for granted that we're all like, oh, this is common sense. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It is to
That's
me,
going to happen to me, I think.
because I've been just doing it so long. Right.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm able to help these guys, and they'll come to me and go, hey, you know, when I did this, you know, I was thinking maybe I should have done this. Would that have been bad? And it's like, I can give them advice and really know what the fuck I'm talking about. And it's the only thing I know what I'm talking about, pro wrestling. Like, I really do understand that psychology in the ring. And it's like, that light bulb went on for me years ago, and I remember that feeling, and I like to see it go on for other guys, like Austin Theory.
So, yeah, I'm beating into him on Sunday.
You're going to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, beat the hell out of
you're
him.
A man, he's a boy. You need to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, here we go.
But this is great. He's going to get a WrestleMania moment. I believe that's his first one.
Well, he did the I think last year.
Okay.
No, 2 years ago, maybe.
But maybe not a singles match. I'm guessing. Yeah. Like, this is a big deal for him too, man. So it'll be fun. But you got to teach that boy a lesson.
Yeah, you're damn right. I mean, humble him down a little bit. And I think what you were referring to there is something that happens in the NFL. I was talking to your wife about it. Who, by the way, you two are a inspiring couple. I'd like to let you know. Like, honestly,
Thanks,
see, every time I see you, she's there. There's always an embrace on TV as well. Like, you guys are an awesome couple. I'd like to let you know. You guys are an awesome couple.
Thanks.
Hey, no
Thanks,
problem
Pat.
at all.
I agree.
Now, following up here.
Yeah.
I think what I heard you talk about with that light bulb going off is something that happens in the NFL. And I asked her about this with you because she probably saw it more so than anybody else. So whenever guys get into the NFL, hey, I'm in the NFL. Oh my God, I made the NFL. They're paying me to play. I'm a big dog. I can put in my Twitter bio. I can put in my Instagram. Okay, I'm in the NFL. I got more money. I can take care of my people. Life is good. Yeah. Then there's a business thing that happens where a jading potentially happens. And the guys are good, but they're just going to work. Like, hey, they're work. They probably don't even like the building that they're in. They like their teammates, but they hate the people they're playing for. Yeah. Then as they continue to go, they get older, they see like the end is near almost, and they're like, all right, I'm going to start enjoying this. I'm going to start taking every single meeting like it's my last meeting, my practice like it's the last practice, the travel, the trips, the games. There's almost like an enlightenment that comes that, oh my God, I don't know how many more of these I got. I've been taking them for granted. Did that happen to you? And do you think that happens in every single profession that is at a professional sports level?
I mean, I can't speak on any other, person. But you hit it on the head, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, took it for granted. Even got a little bitter, maybe didn't enjoy a paycheck a time or two and let that, be the one thing that I dwelled on when I didn't see the big picture, and then getting complacent, phoning it in, being good enough to kind of just half-ass it, and knowing the cameras aren't on, and knowing that I can give the people their money's worth without fucking really breaking a sweat. That's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
And I was there. I was definitely there. And you could probably go back during my career and depending on the year, go, oh, yep, he was phoning it in. And I regret that. What the fuck am I going to do about it?
Can't do nothing now.
Nothing.
Except for lay the next groundwork better.
Except talk about it and fucking...
What happened? What was it? What do you think?
There was a couple things, a few of them personal.
No, I'm talking to get you out of that.
Oh, to get me out of that?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. My wife being a fucking badass woman. Thank you. Yes. The people I'm working with, where... So it started to turn around for me years ago just because I think I was maturing. I became a father and stuff, but my opponents. Working with Edge 2 years ago, right when the pandemic was, it was right before COVID, we started working. And
top of that truck, dude.
Having Edge come, right. Having Edge come back and having that person that kind of mentored me and I looked up to, that bigger brother figure that I haven't had, for a decade. Now all of a sudden I got this guy, oh wow, hey, can you help me with that? Instead of everyone coming to me or instead of me feeling like I didn't have anyone to talk to, now I got Edge, who's probably one of the best minds in the business that I've been fortunate enough to be in the ring with. He helped turn it around for me because he had that old school mentality and he knew how to work, and he wasn't taught that, when the red light's on, cream the shit out of the guy. Because there's an art to what we do, and a lot of guys have lost that art, and now instead of selling a punch, because you need to sell a punch, now I'm protecting myself because I don't want to get my fucking jaw broken. And that's unfortunate. But the art to professional wrestling, like when Vince was on, he talked about your number one priority, above all, being protecting your opponent. That's not taught necessarily in NXT. And I know that
so
because
you thought it was changing. Huh?
I've been in the ring with guys that came from NXT and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yes. And it's unfortunate. But that, I think, is just kind of how things are changing.
I remember you going through those tweets about the knee thing that everybody's doing.
Well, and that was just kind of fucking around and having fun, and people, everyone's slapping their knee. Yeah. That was a thing for a while. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, so, one every now and again, okay. But there was a couple guys that overdid it. But
Edge coming, though, kind of reminded you of the business.
Edge, I go, you know what? I can trust this guy. I can give this guy my body in this ring and tell this story. And I don't have to, in the back of my head, worry about him only being concerned with looking cool in that ring and hitting the fuck out of me and taking my head off. Because he knows I'm going to I know how to work. And when he hits me, I'm going to sell. I'm going to react, and I'm going to make it bigger. And he doesn't have to hurt me.
It makes everything better.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing how beautiful this industry is, and how like artful it is, and just how,
Story.
the right way to do things in that ring, longevity-wise. There's a reason why I've been doing it for 20 years, and I'll do it for another 10. And I want everyone to be able to put food on the table and clothes on their back and take care of their families for 10, 20, 30 years. But they're not going to be able to, because they're going to be all fucked up. And so I'm trying to preach that longevity. You know what I mean? To
Isn't
other guys.
the story in the match too much better whenever like things are like?
Well, yeah.
When things matter, right?
If I'm able to think about what's happening right now in the moment, and not worry about like, okay, here's this fucking guy, I don't know where he's coming from, or because you got to protect yourself. And I would imagine on the field, like, you really got guys trying to take your fucking head off, so you really got to protect yourself. But
I was dead either way.
Does it have to be?
I had my leg up in the air.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah. Well, I can't do that anymore. I can't. But I was dead either way.
You can't put your leg up in the air anymore.
Yeah, I'm too old now, man. I'm too old, Randy.
I don't know.
You doing all the yoga stuff? You a super flexible guy?
I'm not big into the yoga, but stretching, activation, like all that stuff. Like, I'm not putting weight on the bar and seeing how much I can lift, obviously.
Well, I don't want to say it again, but
diet. I think cutting out the sugar, cutting out the alcohol. The sugar alcohol.
You put those together.
Don't put them together. Bad, very explosive. But a lot of this was the diet. I feel like muscle memory. Like, I've been training for forever. But
20, 30 years.
Yeah, the diet's where it's at. That's
so Edge was the guy though that came back and was like, kind of put you back in the zone. Like, all right, I can work here. Well, let's go and do this.
He made me realize, like, oh yeah, I can go 45 minutes with a guy that knows what the fuck he's doing. And where are these other guys that know what the fuck they're doing? And they started to come up. Bray Wyatt was there. I got to work with him. That was a little odd.
Yeah, whatever. You don't have to give anything away, but that was no way. Neither of you were happy with how that.
No. And I think there was some issues where he wasn't able to do a lot of stuff in the ring for a while. So like, that got weird. But Bray Wyatt's
incredibly talented,
hell of a
I'm
fucking
a big
talent.
Fan, yeah.
And now of course Riddle. For the last year I've been out there with him. He's only been wrestling 6 years, but he just gets it. He understands that those people are looking here, and they're looking at the body language, and he knows how to sell, and he captivates those people. You know what I mean? And it's he captivates me.
Hey, tag team wrestling a little bit different than the singles competition. How you enjoying it? Hey, titles are on line this weekend.
That's right.
Against the Alpha Academy and Street Profits. WrestleMania.
Yeah. Was it not number 18 for me, I think?
Wow.
I believe so. Yeah, I might be wrong, but I think it's 18. Yeah.
Tag team a little bit different, though, than singles. Much different, right?
It is. I've always preferred singles competition. It's just me and the other guy, and you can kind of it's just easier to tell that story for me, just you and the other guy.
Story of the fight, by the way, is what people that don't know wrestling is what we've been talking about basically this entire last 15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. The story is everything. If you're just out there hitting each other with moves, it's anybody can do that. It's how do you play on those fans' emotions? What did you do last week?
Take them on a ride.
And anything can be a story. Anything can be a story. You can make up, a half a dozen little stories while you're out there that, oh, wow, did you see that? And there's so many, you just got to stay open, and you can't get into a rut like I've gotten where this works, I'm going to keep doing this. You got to try
keep evolving, man. That's why tag team has been awesome. You and the RK Bro tag team has been everything because by the way, for those that don't know, Randy wasn't always in on Riddle.
What?
No, yeah. Riddle had to earn his trust. It was a long time. Just recently, he said they were friends, and that was a big deal. I think that was last week ago. And then here on this show, you just did you cut like a 5-minute promo on how awesome Riddle was. Look at this relationship coming full circle.
Riddle's a good cat. Did not like him at first. And I think it was just one of those things where I was being a judgmental prick.
No.
No,
we all have it. We all have it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you know the locker room. You've been there, and you got a new guy coming in, and even though there's no threatening to your position whatsoever, still you got this new guy coming in, and you're out there in the ring together, trusting each other with your body, with your health, and you gotta shake my hand, look me in the eye, and hey, I need to know you and have some sort of relationship with you in the back before we go out there. And I'm gonna go here, pick me up and don't drop me on my head. You know what I mean? And I think it just took him a while to kind of open up and to be okay with developing that relationship. But once he did, and then I kind of realized, okay, I get what kind of guy he is. I had the same problem with Dean Ambrose. And if you know Dean at all, he's a different kind of cat. It took a couple years, but then you finally realize, oh, okay, I get it. He's just a fucking weirdo. So am I. So is everybody else in this locker room. We're all fucking weird. Yeah. So you know, it's I try to be less of a judgmental prick these days too.
Well, that's awesome, because everybody that's coming in has been a fan of yours forever. Just like all of us, dude. You're an absolute legend. Thank you for starting. I think Connor has one question for you, if that's okay. Then you
please.
gotta go.
Yeah, I got one. Randy, you mentioned how much you love the crowd, and how that's kind of like your addiction almost. Are there any cities when you go to that you get a little more juiced up for? And also, how hard was it without any fans for that, year plus?
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard it from the guys. Not having fans was the hardest. I was lucky because when it first started and there was no fans, no noise, not even the other NXT guys there cheering anybody on, I didn't have to really wrestle at all during that little, couple months. I remember watching WrestleMania and like Kofi and maybe John Morrison and a couple guys, they were having a ladder match at the PC for WrestleMania with no sound, no crowd. Can you imagine?
That hurt.
Can you imagine? So hats off to those guys. But yeah, without the crowd, insane. What was the other question?
Like your favorite city, like when you're going to
favorite
a city.
Yeah. So the absolute loudest place I've ever been was Seoul, South Korea.
What?
Oh, yes. How many countries have you not been to, other than the ones that are?
I think I'm right around 50 countries. Wow. But I remember, and this was early in my career.
Awesome.
Seoul, South Korea was the absolute loudest place I have ever been. There's some very loud places all across the world, but Seoul, South Korea, for some reason,
ears ringing type stuff.
Like, can't hear yourself think. Yeah, surpassing ears ringing. Yeah. Like just complete. Like, what is going on here? But just oh.
And that's what, by the way, that's what you're looking for every single night.
Every single night.
They have me cut like a little promo in the commercials called the McAfee Minute.
Yeah.
And literally, I'm complimenting the cities if I think, like, in what I'm saying, I'm like, hey, you guys have been awesome tonight, because it is a huge part of the live shows. There's a couple people that haven't been fans maybe of wrestling. Mm-hmm. You go to a live event, and you can literally yell, kill him! Yeah. Like, you can say, it is an electric environment.
It is. It is.
And you can tell the difference.
Yeah, and if those guys in the ring are the kind of talent that can let those people in a little more because it's a live event, they're going to have even more fun. And that's a lot of times the case with these live events. That's like grassroots. We get into those smaller towns, and that's where people get to really see our show and see what it's all about.
More tickets this weekend, I think, than any other.
I heard that. That's pretty insane. I feel like WWE's Vince is setting records damn near every other quarter.
Your relationship with Vince?
Yeah, it's been a long, steady, growing one. I'd say early on, most of our encounters were because I was fucking up.
Yes.
And I
not necessarily positive interaction.
No. But I was very fortunate because he took a liking to me, and I think it's kind of like a father figure on the road. I was so young, and I think he saw a little bit of something of himself in me because I had it so, I'm a little batshit crazy, and I think he's seen me kind of throw a tantrum or two and kind of get emotional and lose it, and I've had a couple of deep conversations with the guy, and he's known some of the troubles that I've went through, so we're kind of on a different level, and I think he kind of sees a little bit of himself in me, and I think that's why he took a liking to me, but I think he sees that I'm a WWE guy. I started out a WWE guy, and I'm not going anywhere. And even a couple of years ago, there might have been some chatter and some talk, but I wasn't really the guy talking about really going anywhere else. That was just
Other people.
That was the internet and everybody, and I just kind of sat back.
Hey, the dirt sheets are an interesting
I was
world.
like, oh, this is interesting. I never said that, and here I am. My contract's up in a couple of years, and I'll sign another one. Like, I love this place. I love getting to do shit like this. WrestleMania. This is my 18th WrestleMania in a couple days, dude.
There's be 100,000 people.
Here's to 10 more WrestleManias.
10
you know what I'm
more,
saying?
Randy.
Yeah.
As we wrap this up, though, like I would assume that Vince, he gets all the heat for all the bad ideas that happen. And when you're going live every single week, every 2 times a week on TV, both the first longest and the second longest episodic television series of all time, right? Raw and SmackDown. So those are the 2. So you're going to get some bad ideas in there. Because every show you watch, there's some fucking bad episodes, right? Sure. Every once in a while that's going to happen. He never gets credit for like the good stuff, though.
Right.
Whenever you think like, Stone Cold, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, you go through the list of just success. And hey, there's a lot more. Randy fucking Orton's on one of those fucking on that list, dude. Yeah. So that's I think, by the way, you should be pumped. You've done the business well, and I think Vince should also probably take a victory lap every once in a while and be like, I saw something in this guy and stuck by this guy's side when a lot of people didn't, and now he is one of the GOATs at what he does, man. It's awesome.
Thanks, Pat. I appreciate that. I definitely feel lucky to be here and at this point in my career. Luck had nothing to do with it. I deserve to be here, but
respect, by the way.
I really love the people I work with. I recognize their talent and their passion, and I respect them. And I think I'm still growing as an individual, and I got a long way to go. I fuck up daily, but I think my heart's in the right place, and I really want to see this place be all it can be. We do so many good things with Make-A-Wish and for children across
Connor's
the world.
Cure.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
That's such a huge deal, and getting to meet that little boy and his father and brother, and to be there on the ground and see all that take place with Stephanie and Hunter right there at the forefront of it. We're doing so many great things, and a lot of times, they call out the negative here and there. You don't hear about all the good. There's so much fucking good this company is doing.
Concur.
Every day. And there's so many great people that work for this company. And we're going to be here forever. And I look forward to being a part of the WWE, long after I'm able to, not take a bump anymore. I'll be here.
Well, that's awesome to hear. We can't wait to watch. And the WWE is literally a family.
Yes.
And you're like one of the OGs in the family, so it's awesome.
I'll take that. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, is it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Oh, probably they won't let me call it. No, I don't think so.
You never know. You never fucking know, do you?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Royal Rumble, I got a chance in there.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. It's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's right.
That is something else that should be talked. If you've never seen a WrestleMania before, like the amount of absurd shit that's going to happen over there Saturday and Sunday during WrestleMania, only available on the Peacock, is absurd. Absurd.
The cock? Did you call it the cock?
Peacock.
Peacock. Okay. The cock for short? Is that like a nickname for the?
Well, we didn't. I mean, I don't know if we created it, but it seems like that's what the Peacock would be short. You're not going to call it the P.
I didn't know if you meant to do that. I just think it's pretty cool. I'm going to start calling it the cock too.
Well, I will say, in WWE world, I'm not sure it's necessarily as well received as in my world here, because I have said that before on air before, and they've gone. Peacock is the name of the. Oh yeah. Sorry. Peacock. Yeah,
like those tuxedo shorts a couple years ago.
Hopefully, I don't have that moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Orton. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
We'll be back in like 2 minutes with AJ Hawk and the boys back in Indianapolis. I believe we're supposed to have Robbie Gold on as well, but that conversation with Randy was too good. Sorry we kept you. We'll see you in 4 minutes. You are the best, bud.